Hello.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and good morning to the other part of the world.
Good evening and good morning together.
Yeah. So, another episode of Paws Tales.
Yep.
Last 3 episodes, we got good response.
Yeah, this is our fourth one. And
Yeah.
we managed to get four different people from four different category, four different subjects, which is good. And we are coming up with two more interesting segment altogether. We shall inform you with more details after Manu's talk.
Yeah.
So let's
And
start with a small
those
introduction.
two will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
So, I think you can wait for it till the end.
Yes.
Let's begin with the introduction about Paws Trails. Paws Trails is a collective collaboration of a group of dedicated nature lovers to bring humans closer to nature through the medium of photography and art. We have started this organization 6 years ago with our wildlife photography workshops to different locations across the globe. And then three other verticals added to
Trails
this:
is a collective
the
collaboration of a group of dedicated
magazine, events, and education. Our trails to date. We have done 33 online magazines, one international wildlife festival, 60 plus international workshops and lectures across the world, 23 photography exhibitions, mostly done in UAE. We have a collective social media followers of 1.5 million plus. We have planted
a collective
40,000
social media
saplings
followers
across
of
the
5
world.
million plus.
We have 200 plus international contributors who support us with their photographs, articles, and videos. We have also published two coffee table books. The first one is The Big Cat Trails, where we showcased 101 images of the big cats from different parts of the world. And the second book is based on Arabian Peninsula, the species from Arabian Peninsula, and the book is called The Arabian Trails. So this is our so far journey. And today we are bringing in one beautiful macro specialist, Manu. I think Nisha, you can tell more about Manu.
Manu is an awesome person to begin with, a very kind man who's extremely passionate about nature and exploring nature, specifically concentrating on macro. In fact, we all uh, kind of started. We all used to do a lot of photography together in UAE, and it's a friendship of 10 years plus, right? It's a long
Yeah,
journey. And
yes.
I can definitely say from among our circle and among across the world, he is one of the finest or one of the fabulous photographer when it comes to macro. So today he's going to present specifically about his photography he have done in the UAE during the winter time. So you can see the magic and you can get the experience from himself itself rather than me talking about it. So let's welcome Manu.
Yeah, macro photography is extremely the close-up photography, which uh, for me it's showing the size of the subject in the photograph, which is greater than life size, and you require a lot of hard work to be done behind to get a good macro picture, especially finding a good location, searching for the right subject, spending a good amount of time and make sure you don't disturb the subject. There are a lot of inputs required, and all these things Manu will describe us. So let me add Manu to the talk.
So that's Manu. Hi.
Hi, Manu.
Hello, hi, Nisha and Hermes. And good evening, all the friends who are there as viewers. And I want to thank Nisha and Hermes for this opportunity. As they said, we almost started photography during the same time with a photography club in Dubai, SPSA. And as we progressed, the small group of people were more into nature photography. And Hermes and Nisha were focusing on bird photography, and they moved into wildlife photography. My focus was on small world, the macro world of insects. And the thing is, for my subjects, I don't have to travel to another continent. I just need to go down to the next park or next plot, and then sit down and focus, and I will find my subjects. So
even we didn't believe that when you showed us a lot of pictures. We didn't believe that in UA you get a lot of opportunities for macro photography.
The initial impression for me was also there is not much wildlife, not much macro life in UAE, but when you explore, there is a lot of varieties. There is a lot of numbers, lot of beautiful insects over there. Today what I will do is I will share my screen.
Yeah.
Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My presentation today, I'm trying to focus on insects images shot from UAE during the winter time. Winter time means the winter time in UAE is mainly from November to February, and this is the time when there is some sort of fog and dewdrops on the bushes, which makes in turn the insect life more beautiful. During that time, it's hard to find, a little bit hard to find the insects, but then they are more or less immersed in the dewdrops. So immobile, it will give you a chance for you to take better photographs. Going on to some general tips on, I will share some general tips on macro photography. In another sense, these tips are also applicable for any genre of photography. Starting with knowing your equipment, that is very important. Mr. Srikumar Menon from SPSA, from Photomuse, he used to say, you read the manual for at least 6 times. From the 7th time onwards, you start understanding your camera. So understanding your equipment is important. While you are shooting, instead of without taking your eyes from the subject, you should be able to adjust the settings of the camera. That's the level you need to reach, knowing your equipment. Then the compositional rules. The compositional rules, most of you might be aware about the compositional rule. I'm not going into the details, but try to accommodate the compositional rules within the nature photography, within the insect photography, which will give more visual impact, appealing to your photographs. Comparing with other photography, you could say for the nature photography, sometimes the natural history value or the subject have precedence over the compositional rules. Compositional rules could become secondary, but then still, if you follow the compositional rules, it's not mandatory. If you follow the compositional rule, that could give a better appearance for your pictures. Knowing your subject is another important thing. Look at this picture. It's a robber fly, and it is feeding on a wasp. Both are predatory insects, but the robber fly it catches the prey in the air, and then it is piercing and sucking the insides of the other prey. So you know the subject well, you will have better chances of getting better photographs. Creative approach. That is your approach to photography, the angle in which you shoot. You want the background to be used so that the subject may get a better clarity, or you want maybe shoot from the front where you want only the eye to be on the focus and the other need to be out of focus, and maybe you want all the environment to be in the picture. This is your approach to photography. The perch, you can have patterns, lines, the perch matching with that insects. That's your approach to photography. Storytelling images, always there is a value for storytelling images. This image tells a story. This feeding on that particular insect. So you, in nature also, you could find images which tells a story that has a specific value in photography. Post-processing. Post-processing is like applying makeup before you going out, you know. So in post-processing, in nature photography, there are some photography organizations put some rules down, but it's not mandatory. But for me, I also limit my post-processing for nature images to the minimum, with some color corrections, with some dodging and burning. That's all. A removal of some part or something from by cloning and all, not normally used in nature photography. And then it's up to the person. There is no, you could say there is no rules. Art has no rules. There are people combine different images to make one combined picture, and it is there. It's a personal choice. Then which time to take the best photos? It is golden hour. We call it the 1 hour, half an hour before and after the sunrise, and in the evening, say half an hour before and after the sunset. This is considered the best time for photography, when you will get all the tones, colors, and everything come out well. This is a dragonfly, and the dewdrops are on the curved perch. This image is taken from a farm in Fujairah. I and two of my close friends, we used to drive early morning, the sunrise, and sometimes at 5 and 5:30 during the winter time, maybe it's 7. We used to go start from, it's around 1.5 hour drive from Dubai. We used to go like 4, sometimes 3:30 even. We drive over there and we spend our time in the middle of nature, in the middle of nowhere to taking photos. It's a great experience. And this is a nymph of a long-horned grasshopper. So in the dewdrops, this image is taken from a plot behind the Latifa Hospital. It's a small plot where they used to have some, it is in the middle of the city where they used to sow some grass for the camels. And there is a wall around, and me and some of my close friends, we used to jump the wall and went there and take photos. Now the plot is not there anymore. It's around 2 years back, I think it's demolished. And there is a tower coming up there. But we had a lot of memories there. We have a lot of photographs from the same plot. It's a Arab white butterfly. The image is very simple. A curved perch and a butterfly with a curved wing. And there are 2 dewdrops with the sun reflecting on that. This image is exhibited in many international saloons, accepted. It's a flea beetle. And again, the dewdrops is the specialty. This is a damselfly, again with dewdrops. This damselfly image, it is very, very small. It is like 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter in size, and it is on the ground inside the grass, and the light was reflecting around, because of the grass, because of the dew. The advantage of when the dew is there, the atmosphere is so clean, so you will get the images more, the visibility of the image, the sharpness and all will be good. And this is called a hoverfly. The hoverfly is again with the dewdrops. This is also an image taken from the Fujairah farm. This is a grasshopper. It resembles the leaves and resembles in the color. It's very difficult to spot it. Sitting inside in the middle of this same camouflaged. There is some more specific tips on macro photography. To do macro photography, if you want to go beyond a particular level, you definitely need a dedicated macro lens. Some people I have seen, one of my friends using reverse ring and use the normal lens to do macro photography. There are techniques, but then a dedicated macro lens, if you can afford, that is the best thing, which will make you go beyond a particular level in macro photography, which will allow you to go closer to the subject. It will allow you to take subjects, the details, and the colors, patterns, everything more in more detail. Using, for me, I will tell about my equipment also, which I'm using. I'm having a Canon camera. It's a 5D Mark IV. And then I have a 100mm macro lens and a 180mm macro lens. And this is the normal equipment which I use. And I have I tried flash, but I was not happy with the flash results. So I normally mainly depending on the sunlight, early morning sunlight. And I used to have a reflector to go along with. Time in the field, that is, for me, that's one of the most important thing in macro photography. You might have a lot of expensive equipment, good quality equipment. You might have a lot of reading, mentoring, and you might have read a lot of, watched a lot of YouTube videos. But the thing is, unless you spend time in the field and unless you observe and if you connect with the nature, it is difficult to get good photos. And the maximum time you spend on the field is going to bring you the results. And in the early times when I started in 2012, I think early time I used to spend like every morning, even when there was office, somehow I find time to go to the field in a nearby park or in the mornings. So spending time in the field is most important tip. Then another thing is shoot perpendicular to a subject. Keep the lens plane perpendicular with the subject plane, so that what happens is you will get there is a better chance of getting all the subject within the depth of field. See, in this particular image, you could see that even both the tentacles are within the depth of field, and the wings are also in depth of field. If you go a little bit out of the plane, there is a chance that some portions of the insects might go out of the depth of field. But then it is a choice. Sometimes you don't want everything in depth of field. You might want only the eye on the depth of field. That is another approach. But trying to keep everything in the depth of field, going perpendicular to the subject is a choice. And this is a crimson speckled footman moth. It's covered in snow. Okay, taken in this winter, 3 months back, I think in January. This is a mud wasp, and this is the dew started melting, and the sunlight has come up, and the dew started melting. The thing is, now when I spent almost 1.5 hours with the same subject, same insect, and the experience was very good. Now, as first we may think that the insect is dead, it's covered in no movement at all, it is frozen. And then the insect, when the light comes up, it will come back to the life. Its wings get dried up, body get dried up, it start moving its legs, and then after 1 hour it flew off. So spending time with one subject, one insect, 2 hours, watching, photographing it, it's a different experience. It's called a jewel beetle, and it has another jewel on its top and another jewel at its bottom. This is called it's a fly, but it's called a bee fly because more or less it resembles a bee, and it is fully covered in dew, and the dew looks like pearls. And this image is taken from the Mamza Park, which is very close to my home, 5 minutes drive. So there is an area I used to in the mornings I just drive to there, spend some time, take some photos. For some years it was a regular practice. It's a plain tiger butterfly. It's also immersed in dew, and now the dew started melting. For the butterflies, when the winter time, when the winter progresses, these butterflies disappear. And during the winter time, in the morning when they go, they're immobile. They don't move at all. So you can have your time taking photos and all. But as I said, when the sun comes up, when the wings dried up, it's called basking. The butterflies bask. We call it basking of butterflies. They get their wings dried up. The blood started pumping to wings, and then they flew off. This is a spider. This particular spider is a orb weaver spider. The web is full of minute dewdrops, look like pearls. Huh? This image is taken from Ras Al Khaimah. It's a damselfly taken near the Sharjah University city. It's this is a butterfly. It's called a copper white butterfly. This is also, again, this is taken near Ajman, and this is again taken during this winter, I think December time. Robber fly with the kill. It's a wasp. It sucks the inside fluids. First inject venom to make the insides digest, then suck off the contents. It takes half an hour. During when it is feeding on the prey, you don't care the surroundings. You can go around, fix your tripod, and go around and shoot, and it will stay. Some more tips. Backlighting is something which makes the image very beautiful. Nisha was presenting the rim light photography, I think 2 weeks back, and it's more or less she was presenting images of leopard with the in the backlight, where the backlight means sun is at the back, or sunlight or the main light source is at the back, so that you will get the outside surrounded. But in the insect world, to take photograph, when you take backlight photographs, you could add some fill light from the front, so that you will get the details also visible. Not the rim light alone, you will get the details from the front side also visible. For me, how I use the fill light, I use some soft reflector. I'm not using flash, or I tried some LED light, but for me, the natural sunlight, the background, and then from the front using a soft filler reflector. That's what I use, and that's what I like. And that's giving me good results. Study your subject is I mentioned it earlier. It's very important. In bird photography, this the bee-eater birds, they go around and then come back. They go around, fly, catch the prey, and if they are not disturbed, they will come back to the same perch. Nisha and Hermes will know that much better. Same way, in the insect world also, there are certain features for insects. For example, a robber fly will take off from a perch. It will catch an insect in the air, and if it is not disturbed, if it is not threatened, it will come back to the same place, same perch where it was sitting, and sit, and you can take photograph. But while it is flying and trying to catch, you move and you try to go behind it. What happens? It will just fly off. So you need to wait. You need to have patience. You need to study the character of the insects, then you will get it. This yellow paper wasp, sometimes they come near to a particular pool of water to drink. So you wait there, you will get their shot. It's like similar to wildlife photography. You study the character of the insect or animal, you wait for that, you will get the shots, rather than you run behind it. These dragonflies, while they come to the perch, first they have, for a fraction of a second, they have a spread wings. Then they close their wings. So if you want a spread wing photo, you wait near the perch where it is going to sit, and set the camera and wait. And the moment it perched, you click it, you will get the dragonfly with the spread wings. So learning the subjects, the features of the subjects will make you take better photographs. Then another thing is use of tripod. I try to use, as far as possible, use of tripod. Sometimes it is not possible because it is insect photography. It's moving. But at the same time, you want a better quality photograph, I'm suggesting to go at the golden hour, when the light is low. But then if you are having a reasonable ISO, the shutter speed will be low. So when you click the photo, if it is handheld, you might feel in the viewfinder, you may feel that's okay. But when you put in the computer, you will feel it is not sharp enough. The use of tripod will give you better results, better sharp photos. So as far as possible, using a very good tripod, stable tripod for micro photography is very important. But there is another set of people who use flash to freeze the subject, especially for night macro photography. But for me, tripod is the best choice. This is an image on the backlight where the dewdrops are having a very beautiful dewdrops. And this is very, very minor. I could say the size is less than the size of the insect is less than a centimeter, small. And this is also taken from the plot behind Latifa Hospital, which is not there anymore. Another one from the same place. It's a nymph of a grasshopper. Same thing. The body is also semi-transparent. Light is going through, and see the beauty of this, like pearls. Huh? This is a fruit fly. This is one of my favorite images. This is taken from Fujairah. It's my favorite because I enjoy taking this photograph. The fruit fly was sitting and it was playing with the dewdrops. Like with its hands, it is taking the dewdrops and like a ball, and it is playing with that. You could see that there is already one dewdrop is on its leg. I spent a lot of time watching. It was very, very interesting and very, very happy to watch it playing with the dewdrops. And I think I took around at least 50 photos in the same subject. This is the one where I got it. It's moving. The hands, the legs are moving. Where it's playing with dewdrops. This is another image which is my favorite. These are two ants. It looks like they are in deep conversation. And this image was very successful in the competitions and all. This became the best of show image in the PSA interclub contest, and also I got many gold medals. Like I got PSA gold medal and EFIAP gold medal for this particular image in different international saloons, exhibited in many saloons, and that is one of my favorite image in that sense. It's a leaf cutter bee. It's interesting to watch this particular insect. So you can see it's the beak like scissor. With like scissors precision cut leaf pieces and take it, hold it, and then flew off. It will make nest within the ground, small holes. It will put this leaf beads and make a solitary bee. It makes its nest to lay eggs. It's very. I have one of the shots of this bee flying with a leaf. Here it is resting on the leaf cutter bee is resting on dewdrops. In the light, you could see the sun is reflecting. So again, a image of a Arab white butterfly, dewdrops. The flea beetles, face to face. Another Arab white butterflies with dewdrops. This is again a black spotted tearlet. This butterfly is called. See the dew starting from bigger size to going to small size, and you can have it's called starbursts sometimes. This is light reflecting on the dewdrops. And this is an image in backlight, and with I have a fill light from the reflector. Typical example of a backlight is it shows that rim. At the same time, this has reflected light, making the shadows portion visible. This is a shield bug. It's also completely immersed in dewdrops. Very early morning, taken 10-15 minutes after the sun started coming in. Taken from Ajman. This is called a cyc butterfly. It just it flew like it's a flipping movement, slowly moves. Again, another Arab white butterfly. This is taken from Jebel Ali, near my office where I'm working. It's a Indian cupid, again with dewdrops. This is a flea beetle with the complete green. This is contrasting colors. red and green. And with the dew already started melting, and you can see the water droplets. And the most important tip, the most important clue for me as a nature photographer, so I want to tell you is establish your connection with the nature. You know, when you go into the nature and when you establish, you have to spend more time with the nature. When you establish the connection with the nature, how can you identify that? When you establish the connection with the nature, you enjoy every moment you spend with nature. Whether you get a good photograph or whether you open your camera or take photograph, that will become unimportant. Whether you get a photograph or not photograph, you drive 2 hours to some place and you spend, move around, come back with any photograph, still you are very happy, because that the time with the nature has energized you, that make you happy, that give you peace. That's when you are reaching that mentality, that what happens is nature will start giving you gifts. You don't have to run behind insects. They will come to you. The photographs, the nature will open its beauties to you. So establishing your connection with nature is the most important thing for a nature photographer. That's the point which I want to tell you. Then I'll play a video. Normally I take photographs, but sometimes for record I used to take some short videos. We just combine to make a video for the presentation.
Thank you, Manu. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Now it's the time for us to start with our question answer.
Yes, please.
Do you have some specific set of instruction when it comes to the aperture value or the mode you use or anything as such to begin with?
There is no standard setups. One point is try to use ISO as minimum as possible, so that the image has a particular quality. The grains, you always try to use the minimum aperture as minimum as possible. Then to compromise the shutter speed, try to use the tripod. So this is 2 points. Then aperture is that is your creative part. Whether you want to have the focus on the eye and other portions viewed up, you use a lesser aperture. And if you want to use you want to get everything within the frame, you may need to use a larger aperture. Then what happens is, it also depends on how the background is. You want the background to be used, and the background is so close, there is limitation on using higher aperture.
Yeah.
If you have a background, it's little, there is a space between the background and the subject, then you are able to use a higher aperture value. At the same time, you will get a nose background. So depends on the situation. You try it out. Then that's how it is. Yeah.
We have a question from Ahmar Amjad. Which lens do you use?
I have 2 macro lenses, 100 mm lens, and both are Canon, 100 mm and 180 mm. I initially started with using 100 mm lens, and then over the years I purchased an 180 mm, and then I again started using the 100 mm. The 180 mm, the advantage is you will be able to get the same, more or less the same result by standing a little bit backward. But 100 will give you more, I could say more, that there is a, when the focal length is more, there is a compression effect on the images. While 100 you may be able to move, you may require to go more closer than the impact of the image as a 3D image, 3D impact is more with the 100. So both has its advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
We have another question from Vignesh Ramachandran. Have you used macro ring flash?
Thank you, Vignesh. I tried macro with flash, but for me,
macro ring flash.
Ring flash. I tried ring flash also. I tried a flash. I tried ring flash. For me, this is a personal point, like a personal thing. I like natural light with soft reflectors. I tried the ring flash and tried the other thing. It is okay to use, but then for me, natural light is better. The disadvantage what I felt is sometimes the perch as well as some parts of the insects get overexposed, burn. So that's the reason why I stick to natural light. But if you are using night photography, night insects with macro, then it's a must to have ring flash and the sort of crystal.
And we have a message from our Abbas Ji, Professor. He called you Professor. Try macro in Chicago during winter time. It's all frozen. Your subjects. It's all frozen. Your subjects will not run away or fly away.
Thank you so much, Abbas, and you have been always an inspiration and support. And I will definitely, if I get a chance, I will come to Chicago to shoot frozen insects.
In fact, we are planning to do something in Chicago. Let's see.
We have another question from Shaji Chandran. What are your activities during these summer days for macro shooting?
No, there is no issues with finding your subjects on summer days also. You will get more sweat, that's all. Otherwise, summer days, there are insects. Even Corona time, sometimes I get mad, I used to go. Morning, I just take my camera and go and have some Ajman drive, half an hour drive. There is a roundabout near, there is a interchange near Ajman. There is some bushes and all. I used to go there and come back before my family gets up.
That's the plus point, being in, even if it is Corona, if you are keeping a social distancing and you're not being close to somebody, you're not troubling anyone, then it's always room for nature.
Yes.
And we have a question from Rabinesh. Will you use filters? If yes, what type of filters?
No, I never tried filters with macro. Probably, I think there's a polarizing filter is good for dewdrops, but I not tried. Somehow I have a negativity towards filters like this. The glass is another medium coming between the lens and the subject.
Yeah. We always had that block.
Yeah.
I brought that some filters and I tried a little bit some landscape photography and all. Then landscape photography is not my field. Abbas is there, so he is very fond of filters. He has a lot of techniques with filters. I bought it and I never used it. Still in my cupboard.
Yeah.
We have one more question from Acha Netaji. How to get better sharpness with dewdrops?
This one point is use tripod, so there will not be any blur. Then another thing is something with the dewdrop. Something which you need to concentrate is there is a lot of chance to get the dewdrops overexposed, burn. So you might keep the exposure compensation 1 or 2 steps down. Try it. Then look at it again in the screen, and then probably need to adjust exposure to get it. Then aperture, for every camera there is a aperture value which gives maximum sharpness. If you try that, then there is another technique like you use the mirror lockup. You put that and then shoot the camera. If you have a live view shooting, you just use the live view and focus from there, that the mirror locker function will be automatically enabled.
And Abbas ji also asked, what is the f and shutter speed in most of your photographs?
Yeah, that's something which even I want to ask.
Shutter speed, even if it is in tripod, if possible, I try to keep it, if it is 100 mm lens at 100, more than 100, and if it is 180 mm, if there is any chance, I will try to shoot with on a 180 mm lens, I will try to shoot about nearly that focal length. But sometimes low light situations, if it is in tripod, that's fine. You can go around to 1/30 and all. You may need to shoot a number of pictures. You will get at least 1 or 2 shots, very sharp. So that's what I try to do. And then I was trying out, for some time I was trying out insects on flight shots, where I used I try to keep the shutter speed like 1/2000 or something like that. And that shot, ISO, you need to compromise. You have no other choice. You might not be using tripod. It's very difficult to get a flying shot with tripod.
Yeah.
And I was trying out, I was using 1/2000, and I was getting more or less okay results. That was an experiment I have been doing recently. So,
We should do another session with general, or maybe only with macro in action.
probably we could do that. Yes.
So we have a question from Chintan Goel. Macro lenses have a very shallow depth of field. How do you focus when using the camera handheld? I find that slight movements ruin the shot.
Correct. That's
basically how to keep it stable. That's what he's asking.
That tripod. That's what I was telling.
Always use tripod.
Right. Possible, whatever, whenever it is possible. But when you are shooting insects, which could be flying, which could be moving, sometimes it's not possible. But then, as far as possible, use the tripod to get the correct shot. But in certain situations, you may little bit higher shutter speed, and you may put it in continuous shooting mode and try to shoot 10-20 pictures on go, and probably you will get 1 or 2 shots. That's also one technique, depending on the situation.
And he's also asking, is focus stacking possible with insect or macro photography?
It is normally macro photography. There is another type of macro photography, that is a tabletop macro photography. You could say that is some definition say micro photography. That is macroscopic photography, where you will get a photo of the eye of a bee or eye of a fly, which is highly enlarged. It's like from the microscope, and a lot of colors, patterns, details. But that's you cannot call it that nature photography. It's not from nature. You bring the insect, probably you kill the insect, bring it on the table, put it, and put lights and all that sort of photography, which I never did and I want to do. And then when you do it on the on field, the focus stacking is, it's a little bit difficult, because probably there is wind, probably the insect moves a little bit, but you could try. If the insect is completely immobile and you are on tripod, you could try. I have recently been trying, before also I tried, recently I have been trying to do some focus tagging images. It's good, you could do. Maybe you don't need to have 100 images stacked into one image. That is what is doing with the tabletop macro. But here you can have 2-3 images, one focused on the eye and another focused on the hindwing. If you are not exactly perpendicular to the image, you could apply this 3 shots and combine into one. That could be a good focus tagging image. But there is a bit of compromise depending on its movement. So try that.
Mr. Sajan Raju is asking, are you using any diffuser?
Diffuser? No, I'm not. I use some reflector to get the light.
Then Chintan has one more question. Are extension tubes worth using?
That's a good try. Extension tubes will more or less give people, some people, that's what I was saying, like if you can afford a good macro lens, dedicated macro lens, that's good. But some people connect a normal lens with an extension tube and try to keep more closer to take macro. Sometimes the results, it's very difficult to use with extension tubes. It's not as simple as using with a macro lens. Focusing is a little difficult and you will struggle, but some people use it effectively, and I have seen that results are sometimes much better. I have seen people using extension tubes effectively.
Oh, really?
But it's a little difficult to use that. I haven't tried.
We have one more similar question from Arun Natraj. Is it better to use macro lens or reverse ring adapter?
Yeah.
Reversing adapter is a compromise. If you cannot afford difficulty in affording a macro lens, you make a reverse ring and you use.
What about the quality?
Yeah, but quality is good sometimes. But same thing, using a reverse ring macro lens is you need a very expert skills, and you need a certain amount of luck to get the subjects in focus. But when it works, sometimes it gives very good results.
And
It is
and some photographs which he took it with this technique, and some amazing shots were there.
Yeah, if you Nishan, if you remember Satish, initial time he was using we were doing the macro in the initial times together. He was using a reversing lens, and sometimes he come up with very very good results.
And one question from Ahmar Amjad. If you compare with normal zoom lens like 24-120 f4 versus fixed lens, is there a big difference in photo quality?
Definitely, fixed length prime lenses give better results. In sharpness wise, quality wise, prime lenses give a better results. But then using flexibility for 24-70, and if you are using a 50 mm fixed lens, the using flexibility is for the other one. You're standing in the same place, you could have different different zooms and different coverage of with the same standing at the same place. But if it is a fixed lens, you need to move. The lens won't move. The difference is there. And price-wise, also prime lenses are expensive.
Yeah, that's the key in any section.
Yeah.
We have one more. 1 second. Just going through the comments we got.
Messages like just.
We got one good comment from Hari Jackson. I was not a fan of insect macro photography. Now I realize how beautiful it is.
Yeah, not
this
watching.
Is what we want. Yeah.
I would say rather than watching seeing the image beautiful or talking about this, you go to the field, you spend some time,
explore.
Explore. It's a different experience to spend time in with nature photography. Like 2-3 hours, you go there, you forget everything. All your focus is on nature. This and you will feel it's a different feeling. I cannot express.
Have you ever tried a longer lens? I mean, I know you have a prime longer lens.
Yeah.
So have you ever tried that on macro?
Yes, I have tried.
What's your thought on it?
It's like butterflies flying around flowers. You could shoot from the distance. It will give a nice thing. But the thing is, as I told you, the details won't be like using a macro lens. You won't get details. It's a longer shot. You could see a flower and the butterfly flying around with backlight and all, make beautiful. But that's a different category picture. You will not see the details or patterns within the wings. So that won't be there. It's like taking portrait of a person with a 400 mm lens as well as with a 100 mm lens. 400 mm lens will give a compressed image, but sometimes it's okay, but the details are not there.
Yeah. I think Nisha is planning to do macro photography with her 400 mm.
Nisha has been doing with the 600 mm lens.
I tried dragonflies in flight with my 600 mm
lens. I remember.
Huge possibility here. You just need to walk around. But the only lenses I have right now is 7200 mm, 400 mm, and the wide angle. So that's the reason I was just specifically asking. I was just walking around and I see this ladybug mating, line after line. And I all I had was a mobile with me. So I was like freaking out.
Sometimes now recently this mobile photography, mobile macro has giving very good results. Probably not going when you expose or when you take a bigger print, it may not work out. But in social media, there we could see pictures.
There are a lot of phones which have that macro option.
Yeah,
Doing
I have
amazing
a
results.
bunch of videos with it. I still haven't tried my hands-on photography with my mobile, but there is a huge potential. I just have to walk 5 minutes and you will get a whole variety because it's summer here and flowers across the street and it's beautiful. Yeah,
We have we have one question. Any advantage on Super Macro Raynox DCR 250 lens?
Actually, I want to try that. I'm planning to order one. Want to try it out. But Reynolds is also not, as I heard and as I read, it's not that super macro lens, but it is giving some sort of magnification, and it may give a better results, or it may allow you to look more closer. That's what I had heard and read. I was planning to buy one.
I'm not sure, but Peter was talking about one particular lens. He said it cost around $1,200. It can go as close as this, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
It looks quite long. There is no, I don't think there is a stabilizer in it. You need to use a tripod, but I forgot the name of the lens.
Mm-hmm.
We have one more question from Vijay Mylar. What is the difference between macro and micro photography?
This is one way I could say Canon call macro lens and Nikon call micro lens. Okay, this is one. Another is macro photography is one-to-one magnification. That is what we normally use in the field photography, which I follow. The super macro is some people call micro photography. So it's like more or less microscope. You will get microscope in magnified views. You have a photo of the eye of a fly, and it's magnified by 5 times, 10 times. That is micro, and this is macro.
Okay.
One more question from Acha Netaji. What is the best way to know about the different insects' lifestyle? Any books or references?
The first thing is you develop a love for nature, you go a connection with nature. Then you start watching. You will go, you see a particular insect, you spend time with it, so watching its features, what it do, what are, how is it moving, and the thing. Then what happens is you will find a way to find the details. So Google is there. You will try.
Online articles available.
Books are there, images are there. Then you find it, and slowly you will start learning. There is a saying that when you want to learn something, the teacher will appear, the master will appear.
Yeah,
true. First, you develop. You want to learn this. You want to know this. Then the results will come. And the learning, the features learning, how they move, how they, the features of it come from the time you spend in nature with them. And when you start enjoying, that's it. Whether you get photo or you don't get photo, it doesn't matter. You enjoy the time with nature, and then you will learn.
Yeah, the practice is the most important thing. You need to spend as much as possible time in the field and studying this species and studying the behavior, especially with macro. It's not like a bigger species. You don't have to study years behind to understand one species compared to the rest of the, whether it is a bird or an animal. It is difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, but the lifespan difference is there. So you will still get more time to experiment with it.
Exactly.
We got one comment from Shabrinath. The organizing team that includes Nisha and Hermes are doing a great job by bringing experts like Manu. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Nisha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paws Tales. From me also.
But I mean, it's a support. The whole intention behind this is Manu. We all work on this together. It's about everything is about awareness building. That's the reason we keep it open, and we are trying to do as much as possible from our side. We destroy things mainly because we don't know the value of what we are destroying. So
Exactly.
whether it is an insect, even if it is a mosquito, it got its own role to play, and everything is beautiful. You can see some of the mosquito shots which people have taken in such a beautiful way. So it's about the way you see it, it's the way you want to present it. Every single species on this planet Earth have its own reason to live, and that we need to let them live. We should take out our ego and let them live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chintan Goyal is asking, what is your Instagram handle so we can follow you?
Yeah, I can. Manu Reghurajan 24. I think. I'm not that expert with socially. I can't say.
Okay, I'll type in here.
Yeah.
Then he's also asking, can a crop sensor camera give a zoom advantage compared with full frame? Since the crop has a factor, like the way it helps with wildlife.
Yeah, it does. It does. Up to certain extent, it does. But then the sensor quality is good with the full frame. And then even if you crop a little bit around, that will give you good results. But as you said, the crop sensor has an advantage with the macro also. Same advantage as using the
And one more question from Sujit Chiral. Is it 100 mm f2.8 gives enough depth of field at 2.8, or you shoot in small aperture?
In fact, no. But then it is how you want to shoot it. Now you have a choice, f2.8, but you have a choice to increase the aperture. But then it is your choice how you want to approach a particular subject with this. If the background is so close and you want to an off background, and then you might compromise on having a focus on the eye, and some portions of the body could get out of focus, and this is your choice. Suppose you want everything to be in full focus, increase the aperture, use tripod, and then get the background might come within. And this is your choice whether you want to have the background woofed or you want to have the background full. So it is your choice. Sometimes f2.8 is good. It gives the desired. Suppose you are taking a front shot where you want only the eye to be on focus, you could try that.
And we have one more comment from Binu K. Varghese. Nisha and Hermes, great job. Lovely session by Mr. Manu. Lovely photos too.
Thank you.
These comments are like keep us motivating and to do more sessions, of course. And we have one more comment from Alan Cox, who is from Scamberg Photography Club. Great images. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Manu. Thank you for this wonderful session. I think we'll wind up now. What do you say, Nisha?
Yeah, we have few announcements. Definitely, we'll do that. And thank you, Manu, once again on behalf of Paws Trails. You are, you are always a part from the beginning, and we really appreciate your support. And we are really looking forward for another session on action and in generic, which we can do it later. Once again, thank you on behalf of us and on behalf of the viewers.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you, Hermes, and thank you, Paws Trails, and thank you all the friends and all the viewers who are present. Thank you, Abbas, in particular.
Okay. Bye, Manu.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a fabulous session and some spectacular photography from Manu. And I hope we all learned one or the other stuff from the settings, from his stories, and how can we approach a macro subject and the lenses to use, and how you use a reflector, how close you can go to them, and a lot in fact.
We will be bringing in more and more people whom you all and we all can learn from. We are trying to be in touch with a lot of fabulous photographers out there. So every week, every Saturday, we will be bringing in more and more photographers, conservationists, artists, and a lot of other people who can teach us more and share their knowledge with us. And so the first announcement that we have to make is, Nisha, you can announce that.
Okay, so we are going to come up with an online exhibition, and it's going to be around with 20 different photographers, I believe. Yeah, so
we're planning to get 20 photographers.
Yeah, 20 different photographers, and explaining one or two of their best shots. The exhibition will be going for 2 weeks, and each photographer will be talking to you for a couple of minutes and explaining their experience, and you will be able to learn from it. And we are bringing in some of the finest from across the world, and this is going to start on 11th of this month. From next
Saturday, right?
Saturday, yes. And from next week on, this is our first edition of online exhibition. We have been doing the gallery setup exhibitions for the last 3-4 years, but with the current circumstances, we still want to encourage people to keep moving to inspire and to protect the mother nature in our own possibility. So next time onwards, we are going to give a specific topic and we will give a call for entry, so you all can be a part of it. This is just the first step and we need your support, and the whole idea is to create a platform where we can interact, we can inspire people, and we can teach people together, and we can learn from each other. So we need all your support. Stay tuned, it's going to be on the same time, and you will be not really seeing both of us, you are going to see 20 different people and their images and their experience. So the session will be slightly longer, maybe an hour, and maybe an hour or maybe 1.5 hours. So be prepared for that, starting from 7 o'clock on coming Saturday.
So a lot of stories are waiting for everyone to hear, a lot of experiences. Let's see, it's on 11th, right? 11th Saturday, 7 p.m.
Yes. And the other thing, you want to start?
Other thing is we we are starting with a photo review session.
It's a live.
So it's basically a portfolio review. Like we will be doing a call for entry for the upcoming photographers to submit their images, and we will be reviewing it live with their presence as well. So they'll be also sitting with us in the screen. So we all together. It's not just two of us. We might bring in more
people,
photographers.
It is right. We are starting it with wildlife. So maybe it's going to be two of us to begin with, or maybe we'll have a couple more people along with the artist. And each session we will have two different. 10 minutes is the allocated time for a set of photographs and for a photographer.
We'll be reviewing 5 photos of each person. Yeah.
And so we can understand their approach, and we can say it's not going to be a critic, but it is about how we think we can improve.
They can better their images.
Yes. And sharing their experience. So this can be taken as an experience sharing and learning together. We never know. Maybe we will be learning more.
Of course, every day we learn even from the
smallest. For the kid, we do. Learning is a process. It's not like you can never be a master in anything in this life. So it's all about learning together. It's all about sharing your experience. So Hermi, you have the email address to send the portfolios. We will be definitely sharing a poster with all the details, but
yes, we will. I will add in the comment also. It's pawstrails.review@gmail.com.
So pawstrails.review@gmail.com is going to be the ID, and that we are going to start. We will be definitely sharing a poster in all our social media and through our website. So anybody who would like to share your experience with us and looking forward to get some guidance from our side, or you would like to give us some suggestions, then please, you're welcome and you can join us. So there's our two new things. It's going to be, one is our online photography exhibition and online photography review. We need all your support. It's a journey together. The maximum people we have to support in our journey. It's all about share and care and protect the mother nature in our possible ways, using our images as a tool to convey this message.
Yes. So I have written the email ID in the comment box. Everybody can, those who want to participate can send it across.
Yeah. So I hope to see you all on 11th, which is the coming Saturday. And we already have a set of photographers for this month. For next month, it's going to be an open call. We will have a poster with call for entry, as I mentioned. We need all your support. And thank you so much for continuously supporting us all this while, and we need all your support. So please do subscribe to our channel. Please share this as much as possible. Let's reach to the maximum people so that we can touch. In our lifetime, if we manage to touch at least one person's soul and bring him or her closer to nature, that's the whole idea. So let's do this together.
Thank you so much, everybody. See you on Saturday.